In a quaint part of town, where cobblestone streets twisted into hidden alleys, Sarah wandered aimlessly, her curiosity guiding her feet. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows that danced beside her. A magnetic pull led her toward an antique shop tucked between two larger buildings. Its weathered sign creaked softly in the evening breeze, whispering secrets of bygone eras. Stepping inside, she was enveloped by the musty scent of aged wood. Shelves filled with peculiar objects lined the walls, each piece holding stories waiting to be uncovered. Sarah's eyes widened as she explored tarnished silverware, faded photographs, and delicate porcelain figurines. But it was a particular object that captivated her. A mirror hanging on the far wall. The ornate frame featured intricate carvings that shifted and swirled when viewed from different angles. Its surface glimmered faintly under dim lighting, almost alive with ethereal energy. As she stepped closer, a chill ran down her spine, anticipation mingled with dread. Suddenly, an elderly man emerged from the shadows, the antique dealer. His presence was enigmatic. He moved quietly but conveyed volumes through his piercing gaze. Approaching Sarah with unsettling calmness, he offered vague warnings about the mirror's powers. Those who gaze upon it may see their own death. But beware, lingering too long can bring forth dark consequences. A shiver coursed through Sarah at his words. Despite Ellie's later protests echoing in her mind, he had been leaning against one of the shelves nearby, a rational thinker whose skepticism often grounded her wild ideas. She felt compelled to uncover its secrets. Thrill ignited within as she reached for her wallet. Ellie watched nervously as she exchanged money for the mirror, concern etched across his features. "Are you sure about this?" he asked softly, but knew better than to try dissuading her once she set her mind on something. With a mischievous smile, Sarah cradled the mirror close as they exited into fading daylight. With each step away from that quaint little shop, shadows stretched longer behind them. It became clear their lives were about to change forever. They were stepping into realms beyond understanding and stirring echoes, best left undisturbed. Back at her apartment, Sarah placed the mirror in a dim corner of her room. The air felt thick with tension as she prepared herself for what lay ahead. When she finally gazed into it for the first time, she saw a fleeting vision, an ominous image of herself falling during a stormy night. Disturbed yet fascinated by this glimpse of doom, she confided in Ali about what she'd seen. He urged caution, but couldn't hide his intrigue either. Together they weighed possibilities and outcomes, while uncertainty loomed like dark clouds overhead. Despite Ali's warnings not to look again at such perilous visions, curiosity consumed Sarah. She found herself drawn back to the mirror repeatedly. Each new detail revealed chaotic scenes, linked to moments in her life, intertwined with haunting shadows lurking just out of view. As days passed, an obsession took root within Sarah's mind. Cracks began forming in both reality and friendship. Paranoia gripped her tightly every time stormy weather approached. The very conditions from her dreadful vision replayed vividly in thought after thought. Leela soon made an appearance, a sorrowful spirit trapped within glassy confines, who warned Sarah against lingering too long before reflecting on mortality itself. Each encounter grew more vivid and unnerving. Leela's desperate whispers painted pictures of tragedy surrounding others who had gazed too long into its depths. Eli worried deeply as he watched his friend spiral further away from him while grappling with deciphering how best to alter fate itself. A futile endeavor steeped in darkness, where hope seemed lost amidst shadows creeping ever closer around. Them both determined to confront this fatal destiny head-on, rather than flee from fear itself, once more threw another look into those cursed depths. They stood at odds, now divided even further apart due largely, because only one among them felt empowered enough still carry forth alone, despite overwhelming odds stacked high against survival here tonight. Yet strength arose when least expected. Facing fears could break their hold rather than surrender altogether. In that climactic moment, filled not only with dread, but also newfound courage simmering beneath surface tensions, all doubt fell aside as resolution steeled hearts, readying themselves toward embracing whatever came next. In doing so, however, Leela faded away peacefully. Acknowledging truth lies not solely within physical endings conjured up by lurking specters dwelling deep inside our minds, but that some deaths are metaphorical instead, symbolizing rebirths waiting patiently underneath layers. Obscured, and so after sealing away, this haunted relic perhaps buried deep within layers, woven together carefully. They stepped out anew into life, unshackled by burdens lifted, though marked forevermore by whispers emanating eternally. Echoing throughout shadowy realms previously unknown, The Mirror That Shows Your Death Chapter 1. The discovery Sarah wandered through an unfamiliar part of town, drawn into a quaint antique shop nestled between two towering buildings. The atmosphere inside was thick with mystery, filled with oddities that sparked her curiosity. As she explored, an ornate mirror caught her eye. Its intricate carvings seemed to pulse with a life of their own. Approaching the mirror, Sarah felt a chill creep down her spine. Shadows flickered across its glassy surface, as if whispering secrets just beyond comprehension. An enigmatic figure emerged from the shadows, the antique dealer. His cryptic demeanor sent shivers through her, as he shared vague warnings about the mirror's ability to reveal one's death. Despite Ellie's protests about caution and the unknown risks involved, Sarah couldn't resist the thrill of adventure that accompanied such a discovery. With determination ignited within her, she purchased the mirror and took it home. Chapter 2, the first glimpse back in her dimly lit apartment. Sarah placed the ornate mirror against a wall where flickering light created an eerie ambience. Entranced by its presence, she hesitated only briefly before gazing into its depths for the first time. Her heart raced as an ephemeral vision materialized, a stormy night swirling around her. She stood atop a precarious ledge, while dark clouds loomed ominously above. Lightning illuminated her terrified expression for just a moment before plunging back into darkness. A sense of dread enveloped Sarah. What did this vision mean? Was this truly what awaited her? Later that evening, over steaming cups of tea on their favorite couch, she shared every haunting detail with Ellie, the chaos of the storm and the ominous height from which she would fall. He listened intently, but remained skeptical yet intrigued, cautioning against another look into such foreboding reflections. "It's just your imagination," he urged gently, concern lining his voice. "Don't let fear take hold." But curiosity clawed at Sarah's, resolve like an insatiable beast whispering temptations to uncover more hidden secrets within those glassy confines. Unable to resist its call any longer, she approached the mirror once again, this time filled with determination to decipher what lay behind its surface. As she peered deeper into the reflection, shadows coalesced around her figure. Dark silhouettes hinted at something sinister waiting to unfold. An unsettling feeling washed over her as tendrils of unease tightened around her heart. Details morphed rapidly. Flashes of familiar places intertwined with scenes from that dreadful night. The very path leading up to where fate awaited swirled together, before fading into obscurity. Confusion mounted within Sarah's mind. A mixture of fascination and fear battled fiercely for control as dread settled firmly in place. Hours slipped away unnoticed as obsession entwined itself deeper within Sarah's psyche. Each glimpse revealed new layers, wrapped in foreboding whispers, echoing warnings that grew harder to dismiss than ever before. Chapter 3, the warning Ellie sensed growing distance between them, his rationality clashing painfully against Sarah's fixation on altering destiny itself. Their conversations shifted from laughter towards heavy silences, punctuated by unspoken fears looming large over their friendship. Then came Leela, a sorrowful apparition emerging from swirling mists reflected upon smooth glass. A spirit trapped within this ancient artifact, revealing truths born from tragedy long ago forgotten, yet still clung desperately close for all who dared gaze too closely into its depths. Transfixed by Leela's sad expression, her gaze not only warned, but also carried understanding woven through centuries apart. Sarah felt drawn toward this spectral figure, who embodied loss and lingering pasts spilling forth onto fragile futures awaiting just beyond reach. Each encounter left Leela more desperate. Whispers became urgent warnings about lingering too long before reflecting on mortality and how some deaths were metaphorical rather than physical. The end of an obsession or fear could lead toward rebirth instead. Chapter 4, the confrontation as days passed under oppressive weight born from paranoia, triggered by each stormy night, reminding Sarah vividly of visions foretold. That grip began unraveling both friendships and sanity alike, determined not to succumb entirely under fate's cruel hand anymore. She summoned enough courage one fateful evening to confront Leela directly through another gaze cast upon reflective surface surrounding them both, in that climactic moment filled with dread. Yet strength combined together. Facing terror head-on broke free chains binding them further still. Stepping backward away, allowed Leela's form begin fading, peacefully acknowledging some endings, signified new beginnings, rather than entrapments eternally holding hearts hostage forever. With newfound clarity, illuminating paths ahead, even amidst shadowed whispers. they sealed away remnants tied deeply unto cursed reflections buried deep beneath layers once more choosing. Life anew together forward unburdened, yet marked indelibly forevermore. As days passed, the air in Sarah's apartment grew heavy with an unseen tension. The mirror, now a fixture of her life, loomed ominously in the dim light, casting shadows that danced and flickered with every passing moment. Each stormy night served as a reminder of her vision, a grim premonition tightening its grip around her heart. Ellie's worried glances became more frequent whenever he entered her room, his concern palpable like a thick fog enveloping them both. Though they shared the same space, it felt as if a chasm had formed between them, deepening with each day spent fixated on the mirror's haunting allure. Ellie often attempted to engage Sarah in conversations about mundane topics, schoolwork, upcoming plans, but she was lost in thoughts tethered to this cursed object. One evening, while thunder rumbled distantly outside and rain tapped rhythmically against the window panes, Sarah found herself irresistibly drawn to the mirror once more. It beckoned her, curiosity surging within her veins. As she gazed into its depths, Leela appeared again, a ghostly visage shimmering through layers of glass. This time, Leela looked more distressed than ever before. Her sorrowful eyes pierced through Sarah's very soul. The air crackled with energy as Leela reached out toward her from within the mirror's confines. A cold presence brushed against Sarah's back. Anxiety coiled tightly around her heart. Yet beneath that fear stirred a flicker of defiance, ignited by desperation. She whispered into the void between them, questioning what Leela wanted from her. Leela's voice echoed softly, but urgently through the chamber of shadows surrounding them. She warned that lingering would only lead to losing oneself entirely. The warning weighed heavily upon Sarah's mind as panic surged. Chaotic images flashed before her eyes, the chaos awaiting if she remained consumed by this fixation, woven through dark threads, threatening doom at every turn. In that moment of clarity sparked by fear igniting willpower deep within, it struck Sarah. Perhaps running from death or fearing, it wouldn't change destiny's course. But facing such fears could grant freedom instead. Determined not only for herself, but also for Ellie, who stood anxiously nearby watching helplessly. She slowly stepped back from staring too deeply into those entrancing depths, where despair lay waiting silently, just beyond reach. With newfound resolve coursing through her veins, echoing loudly throughout this trembling space, the decision unfolded naturally. Embracing uncertainty brought strength rather than weakness. At that moment, when realization dawned bright and bold, illuminating all shades previously hidden beneath murky waters, the spirit began fading away, peacefully leaving behind comfort intermingling with hope across shadowy landscapes once, enveloping lifeless frames without purpose until rebirth reclaimed what had been lost. Moments later, as silence settled gracefully over their surroundings, punctuated only by distant rolling, thunder fading gradually into nothingness, Sarah turned toward Ellie feeling weightless, somehow renewed, yet marked indelibly, knowing full well these whispers would forever echo throughout their lives, reminding them lessons learned, steeped amidst trials faced against unseen forces, lurking perpetually beyond sight, awaiting brave souls willing to journey forth despite perilous unknowns awaiting just beyond horizon lines, marking beginnings, a new unfolding endlessly across limitless skies, filled brightly shimmering stars guiding wayfarers, onward seeking solace amid fierce storms raging within. Stepping outside together hand in hand, breathing freely under an expansive sky above, they embraced life anew, unshackled from burdens lifted, fully aware. Now shadows may linger still, however strength resided deeply rooted within hearts, steadfast, unwilling to yield easily ever again. As days turned into nights, shadows danced in Sarah's apartment. The mirror loomed, a constant reminder of her unsettling visions. Each stormy evening, the winds howled outside, echoing the turmoil within her heart. Paranoia settled around her mind like a thick fog, coiling tighter with every passing moment. Each crack of thunder sent jolts of fear racing through her veins. Fate was watching, always waiting for the opportune time to strike. Ellie watched his best friend slip further away from him, her laughter replaced by distant stares, lingering too long on reflections that twisted truth into nightmares. He tried reasoning with her once more, searching for any glimmer of the adventurous spirit he had known. "You have to let it go, Sarah," he urged softly during one late-night conversation where silence hung heavy between them. But Sarah felt an invisible thread binding her to the mirror, an obsession clawing at her rationality until breaking free seemed impossible without knowing what awaited beyond those glassy depths. In moments when doubt flickered within her resolve, Leela's sorrowful visage reappeared within shimmering confines, a ghostly reminder whispering warnings through veils of time that spanned beyond mere mortality. Face your fear, Leela urged one evening. Sorrow radiated from her ethereal figure as she reached out toward Sarah from behind the surface. Do not run from what is meant to be revealed. Determined yet trembling with dread, Sarah approached once again, the air thickening with tension, while anticipation prickled at every nerve beneath skin taut with uncertainty. She drew closer until breath caught in her throat. This would be different. This time she was prepared to confront destiny head-on. Inhaling deeply, she gazed into the mirror's depths where visions swirled and collided violently, before settling upon familiar sights. The ledge from which she would fall displayed once more, but now shrouded in hues of crimson and shadowy despair. A storm raged around her as ominous clouds churned overhead. Lightning illuminated flashes of chaos, surrounding all she held dear, Ellie standing helpless below amidst swirling debris cast forth by unfathomable forces converging upon them. Suddenly, everything shifted. The world blurred as clarity flooded in like a tide washing over jagged rocks, eroded by relentless waves, crashing against shorelines forever altered. Time stretched infinitely within reflections as realization dawned upon Sarah. Perhaps death wasn't only physical. It could symbolize endings leading toward new beginnings, forged through courage faced under pressure. And so she stood firm, no longer afraid but empowered instead, to embrace whatever came next rather than succumb entirely unto fears formed by shadows lingering just out of reach. With newfound strength coursing through veins filled now not solely with dread, but also determination vibrant enough to shine brightly even amidst darkest corners hidden far away. As if responding to this shift in energy, rippling outwardly across boundaries separating lives, entwined together beneath weighty burdens carried far too long. Leela began fading slowly yet peacefully, her form shimmering like gossamer threads, unraveling, finally allowed rest after enduring endless cycles trapped within murky depths, reflecting others' fates bound eternally across dimensions. Separating specters' living lives, left unseen and unacknowledged. With Leela's departure came an overwhelming sense of release, washing over both girls. Their pasts intertwined, no longer clinging tightly against hearts, burdened by pain, unable evermore to replay tragic narratives, nestled closely wrapped tight inside memories, feared most above all else. As they sealed away the cursed relic, the mirror buried deep beneath layers formed carefully over time, they stepped forward into life anew, unshackled by weights lifted, yet marked forevermore, bearing wisdom earned along journeys traveled. Both dark and light alike, shadows whispered echoes remained tender memories, kissed gently goodbye. A haunting lullaby transformed into sweetly woven tales, spun anew reimagined pathways, illuminating futures bright ahead awaiting just beyond horizons unfolding. Endlessly outward,